Okay, hey guys, Mackay here with Ironside Ranch, and today we're going to do our part 2 of our tractor tune-up. And so what we're actually going to do today is we're going to do our hydraulic oil, fluid change and change our filter, clean out our screen. The other thing is we do have a small leak on this tractor, so we're going to pop a small section off and fix that hydraulic leak while we do this at the same time. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get this drained, and then we'll go ahead and remove that section. And luckily we got to remove that whole section anyways, just to clean our screen, and I'll show you where that's at here. And then we'll go ahead and put our new seal on, fix our leak, put our new filter in, top off our fluid, and crank up the tractor and get it running, make sure everything's running as it should be. We were hoping to have the third SCV kit for the rear, but we're having a hard time finding that now, so I'm not sure what that's going to work out like. So that might get added in the future, but we'll show you all what that looks like. I apologize for the noise of the animals. You got pigs about 2 feet behind you. You've got the goats there another 30 meters back. And then we ended up just getting another dog, that stray dog that came up to the house the other day that we're not keeping, but we need somebody to help us foster it, or to take it. We'll foster it for a short period of time. So if anybody's looking for a black lab puppy, we got a really sweet one that came by the other day. But let's go ahead and get started with this. Alright, so you can see right down here, this is where our small hydraulic leak is coming right off of that. This over here, that's our drain valve that we're going to empty out. So I apologize, no, it's underneath the tractor. We do have a little bit of overcast today, so hopefully this screen will stay to where y'all can kind of see what's going on down there. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to get our drain bucket, pull off that drain cap, and get the fluid drained out of there. Alright, so it is important to know how much fluid this does carry, simply because we want to make sure our bucket's going to hold that much. And this tractor holds 6 gallons, so obviously we're going to have to use this bucket and refill it several times while we do this. And that's okay, so we'll just keep our drain plug handy and ready to go back in there once it gets full. Now some of this, quite a substantial amount of this, has leaked out, so we're not sure how much fluid is left in there. While that continues to drain out, if y'all don't have one, these oil filter clamps are phenomenal. They ratchet down and lock onto your oil filter, or your hydraulic filter, or whatever it is that you're changing out, and they work really well for hard to get places. Now I know you guys can't see this over here, but I'm popping out the that filter right now. Man, guys, it is really difficult to get underneath here. See, you can see there's where our old oil filter was, and we're going to pop a new one on there. And again, I apologize, guys. It is really hard to figure this crap out underneath the tractor, to have a tripod set up and everything, and actually get down there with some footage. All right, so you can see there, looks like our filters are slightly different sizes. We went to the John Deere dealer and gave him the serial number for the tractor, and that's actually where we got the filter from. So we'll probably, I'm going to snap a picture of both those filters, and next time we'll know that either one of them will fit. So the new filter obviously will hang down a little bit more, carry a little bit more fluid, but it won't be a noticeable difference in our fluid capacity. Now you can see we're starting to stream off a little bit, so maybe we'll go dump that hydraulic fluid. Okay guys, now let's look at our hydraulic filter here. Alright, there are about 10 different theories on how tight the oil filters or hydraulic filters should go on. So for oil filters for my vehicle, my rule of thumb is hand tight plus quarter to a half a turn by wrench. That seems to not over tighten them, and they don't seem to come loose, and I've never really had, actually I can't say I've ever had any leak by doing it that method. Some people disagree, some people agree, it just all depends. For hydraulic filters, this is a little bit different. This one has an O-ring there instead of a traditional seal. That O-ring can't hardly be compressed too tight. It'd be very difficult. So you can put a little bit more torque on these without worrying about it. We still want to go ahead and get a little bit of oil around that just to get that seal lubricated. Not super important, but definitely does help a little bit. Certainly doesn't hurt anything. I'm not crazy about the size of this deal wood, guys. We're going to deal with it because it doesn't hang down a ton, but it does hang down a lot. And though it might be easier to change the filter, it's going to be a little bit more prone to getting hit when we're out working, especially in really, really rough terrain, which we use this tractor a lot for rough terrain. So, alright, so you can see this here, this thing tightens that on there really, really well. So we don't need a ton, but we certainly don't want that coming loose. We want that to be able to handle some nice pressure. And I should not be able to back that off by hand, which you can see I did there just a little bit. So we're going to give it just another quarter turn. There we go. Alright. Now that thing, that's on there solid. So we should be really good. But you can see here, I hope you can see, it does hang down just a little bit. And it's not below the rails or the pickup lines on the other side, so I think it's okay, but not ideal. So now we'll go on the other side, and we're going to start pulling that tube out so we can clean the screen. Now is a great time to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification if you haven't already done so. If y'all don't have a magnet tray, you desperately need one. Any type of mechanical work, they are about the best things you can possibly use for holding your nuts and bolts and everything. And here's our screen, guys. Now that's really pretty clean. That doesn't look bad at all. We're going to go blow this off here, get this all nice and dry and cleaned up, make sure there's no scum in it, get all little particles off there. Then we're going to put this back in, we're going to scrape this gasket here off, put a new gasket on it, and we should be ready to fill it. Here's our new clean screen, all ready to go. Alright guys, we really want to make sure that seal's off entirely so we don't get leaks on our next one, but we don't want to push so hard that we gouge the metal, so you got to be a little bit careful. If you don't have a seal scraper, there's lots of other tools you can use. You can even use a screwdriver and a pinch, but they have a tendency of gouging the metal, so again, you got to be real careful. Seal scrapers use kind of a softer steel, and so they're, in theory, shouldn't gouge the metal. Alright, and we're not really trying to flush all the old hydraulic fluid out of there because there's going to be worn metal and stuff in it. It's kind of the same theory as a car transmission. You don't necessarily want all that stuff getting loosened up in there because that can cause problems. But we do want to get the majority of our fluid out as much as we can. The capacity of this tractor is 6.3 or 6.7 gallons of fluid. We took out probably about 3.5, maybe 4 gallons total. Not that much. We had, like I said, a pretty substantial leak that had been going on for about 2 weeks now since I noticed it, so who knows how long it had been going on before that. One of the things about oil is Dawn dish soap and hot water can really cut through oil pretty good. So you can actually get it pretty clean using some dish soap. Oh, I guess we got to put that seal on there first. Duh. That's okay, we'll get a little bit of hydraulic fluid on that seal. That'll actually help us. Alrighty, let's get this lined up. There's a little bit of Dawn dish soap, can cut through those seals pretty good, and then you use a mineral spirit of some sort as kind of a drying agent. You do got to make sure that everything is really dry. Alright guys, same thing as like a lug nut. Yeah, on a Titan one side, super snug. and then try to tighten the other side to pull it all together. Bring them both in kind of equally at the same time. Alright, so different tractors, different manufacturers, everybody's got different opinions on how to top off your fluids here. We're going to do it the way that John Deere's website says, specifically for this tractor model, or John Deere's service manual says specifically for this tractor model. And so the way that we're going to do this is, the engine is cold right now. We're going to fill it up until our sight glass down here is between the two lines. Probably going to take the majority of that 5 gallons. Then we're going to start up the tractor. We'll operate the hydraulics for a minute. We're going to let everything get settled with that, and then we'll go ahead and go from there as far as adding any more and getting it back up to between those two bubbles on the sight glass. So we'll go ahead and remove our hydraulic valve, our fill valve here. We're going to make sure that they're, actually, I take that back. I'm going to put that back in, and we're going to make sure that all that dirt and debris is all gone from around there before we do that, because there's a bunch right there, and I don't want that going in. There we go. Okay, so get all that crap away from there. Let's go ahead and move this forward so that's out of our way. Alright, so I just cleaned our filter, got everything wiped down with our filter, so that everything, or our funnel, so everything's good there. We're going to take our 5 gallons of John Deere hydraulic fluid and we'll start filling. Okay guys, so that finishes us out for the hydraulics on the tractor. You can see we overfilled it a little bit. The sight glass was a little bit dirty, so I was having trouble seeing in there. And so I overfilled it just a little bit, so I got under there, drained some of that out. We got it, I think we got it equalized now. The tractor's on just a little bit of an incline, so I overfilled it just a little bit. So what I'm going to do next time we drive the tractor, we'll pull it off this trailer and we'll get it on level ground. We'll let the transmission get nice and warm, and then we'll kind of see where everything is after some of the gears are shifted and some of those pockets have filled in. It'll settle a little bit. It's got to get some into the filter and everything as well. And so once all that kind of kicks into place, then at that point in time, we'll have a little bit better idea of where we're at as well. So thanks guys for watching. Hopefully this will help you out a little bit. Next thing that we're going to be doing for our tractor tune-up part 3 is we're probably going to change the fluid up here in the differentials, and so we'll go over that here in the next video. So just stay with us, and sorry things are going a little bit slow. Like I said, we still got a lot going on at the new property, so hopefully we'll have some more videos out here soon. Thanks again for watching. Check us out on our Facebook page if you haven't already done so. Like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that either. Also hit that little bell notification, because that really does help us out.